investigating the death of a Hollywood legend. Gene Hackman found dead Wednesday alongside his wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakawa, in their home in Santa Fe. Police say the couple, who married in 1991, were found with their dog after a neighbor called police to do a welfare check. Authorities say there is no immediate indication of foul play in the deaths, but they did not provide a cause of death or say when the couple might have died. The two-time Oscar winner always showing grit, intellect, and intensity on the screen. Hackman had the uncanny ability to vanish into any role.
And the problem is?
From tough as nails good cop Popeye Doyle in The French Connection, which earned him his first Oscar, to Lex Luthor opposite Christopher Reeve in Superman.
Mind over muscle.
And after that, a remarkable run of iconic roles in dozens of films, winning over audiences with movies like Hoosiers and Crimson Tide.
Mr. Hunter, I've made a decision. I'm captain of this boat. You're relieved of your position.
And critics with a second Oscar win with Unforgiven.
He's got one barrel left.
He kept working even after heart surgery in 1990, turning to mostly comedic roles. It was against the law. Until his retirement in the early 2000s. Hackman and his wife moving to Santa Fe. He continued to work as a novelist, publishing his fifth book in 2013. Though the two were occasionally spotted together, Hackman largely preferred to stay out of the public eye in recent years, while audiences remember him through a remarkable on-screen career. Now police investigating the screen legend's death.
I mean, Steph, again, it's early, I know, and there's so many questions outstanding, but any idea how police move forward to try and figure out what happened?
Well, there are a few things. I mean, one is going to be the timing of their deaths. Yeah. They discovered the bodies in the afternoon, but it's not clear exactly when they died. And also, the local paper is reporting that the sheriff is pursuing a search warrant, so that will happen as well, guys.
All right. By the way, we're going to have much more in our next half hour looking back on Gene Hackman's remarkable career.
Well, what's up, family? Welcome to another exciting edition, early edition of Random Topic Thursdays. You know it's carnival time here in the Big Easy, so I'm a little bit busy, so I wanted to come in early before anything. We got this news, sad news earlier this morning, actually. I woke up to learn one of my favorite actors of all time, the legendary actor Gene Hackman, his wife, Betsy Arakawa, who is also an accomplished pianist herself, and their dog were found dead earlier this morning. Oh, I should say it was reported earlier this morning, but they were found on Wednesday afternoon when a neighbor called the Santa Fe, Mexico Sheriff's Office to do a wellness check out of concern. According to the reports, the legendary actor Hackman, alongside his wife, Betsy Arakawa, who was age 64, Mr. Hackman was 95, were found at their Santa Fe home on Wednesday alongside their dog. An investigation is underway into the circumstances surrounding their passings. A search warrant says the deaths are suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. His family released a brief statement saying that Thursday that he was loved and admired by millions all around the world for his brilliant acting career, but he is always just dad and grandpa. We will miss him sorely and are devastated by the loss, they said. Deputies were called at about 1:45 p.m. Wednesday to an address on Old Sunset Trail in Hyde Park, the county sheriff's public information officer, Denise Womack Avila, said in a statement. The two maintenance workers, they found the front door of the home ajar and the couple dead inside, according to the search warrant. It states that deputies did not observe any signs of forced entry into the home. Arakawa's body was found on the floor of a bathroom. A space heater was near her head, and a bottle of prescription pills was located on the counter, the warrant said. The responding deputies believes the heater could have fallen in the event the female abruptly fell to the ground. The pills from the bottle were scattered on the countertop, it says. A German Shepherd was found about 10 feet from her in a closet in the bathroom. Hackman was found dead in a mudroom near the kitchen, according to the warrant. It states that the deputy believes that he may have suddenly fallen. Both bodies showed obvious signs of death, the warrant states. Arakawa's also showed signs of body decomposition. The two other dogs were found alive on the property. One was in the bathroom with Arakawa, and the other was outside the home. As of now, there are no signs of foul play, but they are not ruling anything out. He says, this is Sheriff Adam Mendoza, who said it is not normal to find two people deceased in the residence. He said, that's concerning, and there was also a dog that was in a kennel that was also found deceased. As of now, also, a lot of people have speculated that this could have been possibly a carbon monoxide leak. Fire department said they were conducting testing, but did not locate signs of a carbon monoxide leak or poisoning, the warrant says. The New Mexico Gas Company, which provides natural gas to the home, conducted testing on the gas line and around the residence, of which the warrant says as of now there are no signs of evidence indicating there were any problems associated to the pipes. The bodies of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa were not formally identified until 12:30 this morning. So that would have been about 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. So they lived in New Mexico. That would have been in Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, so Hackman, Gene Hackman was 95 years old. He had some legendary roles, y'all. Legendary roles. My favorite roles, of course, as a kid growing up. I love Superman. He played the role of Lex Luthor in 1978 Superman, which starred Christopher Reeve and Marlon Brando and Margot Kidder, respectively. And it was directed by legendary director Richard Donner. And those effects still hold up to this day. That movie, Superman, as well as Superman 2, still hold up to this day. To me, he was the best Lex Luthor so far that I've seen. Even though he's playing a fictional character, which all of his characters were mostly fictional, but a comic book character at that, he made it his own. Other movie roles I love that Gene Hackman were in, especially for Black History Month, I suggest people go on YouTube and you can find it. I believe it's free this month. Is this movie Mississippi Burning, starring Willem Dafoe, where Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe played two FBI agents that were looking for the three civil rights workers that were missing out in Mississippi. That's why they call it Mississippi Burning. It was a tragic story, a true story, although there were parts of it that were fictionalized. But I want to also talk about his wife, Betsy. She was an accomplished pianist, apparently. They had been married for 34 years. Previously, Gene Hackman was also married to another lady. So he had been married twice, and they stayed together for over 30 years. His first wife, her name was Faye Maltese, and they were married in 1956 and divorced in 1986. Mr. Hackman had 3 children. Of course, he had 3 children, 1 son and 2 daughters, Christopher Allen, Elizabeth Jean, and Leslie Ann Hackman. In fact, one of the daughters, I believe it might be Leslie Ann, she spoke to the news and she's requesting an investigation into her father's passing. Now, I loved, Mississippi Burning. Also, the film Very Unforgiven, which he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, where he played a cold villain. If you remember that, he played Little Bill, who was the main villain in the movie with opposite Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman. And also the movie Crimson Tide. I don't know if anybody remembers Crimson Tide. If you do, give me a thumbs up or give me a like in the comment section. Tell me if you remember that. The Crimson Tide movie with Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington said the most intimidating actor he ever shot a film with was Gene Hackman. And Denzel is a beast, but Denzel Washington said that Gene Hackman, he had tension with him. And he said he was the most intimidating actor he had ever dealt with because he played the admiral. I'm sorry, the captain of the ship, and that was in the 90s. They don't make films like that anymore. Where he played the CO, the commanding officer, and Gene Hackman was the captain, and they were debating whether or not they were going to shoot nuclear weapons. That was a great film, of course. His passing has been, there have been tributes all across the world. People have released statements. Francis Ford Coppola, who worked with Gene Hackman in the film The Conversation, which was a very critically acclaimed film in 1974, he said, quote, Gene Hackman was a great actor, inspiring and magnificent in his work and complexity. I mourn his loss and celebrate his existence and contribution. Other actors who have paid tribute include Morgan Freeman, Tom Hanks, Viola Davis, Alec Baldwin, Josh Brolin, Gwyneth Paltrow, Nathan Lane, James Woods, Antonio Banderas, Dan Aykroyd, and Hank Azaria. BAFTA President Prince William also released a statement saying, which in read in part, Hackman was a true genius of film who brought each and every character to life with power, authenticity, and star quality. Guardian film critic Peter Bradshaw wrote that Hackman's death marks the end of the greatest periods of U.S. cinema. And American New Wave said he was the character actor who was really a star. In fact, the star of every scene he was in. That tough, wised up, intelligent, but unhandsome face, perpetually on the verge of coolly unconcerned derision or creased in a heartbreakingly fatherly pain smile. Yeah. Gene Hackman really got his big break when he was 36 years old in a film called Bonnie and Clyde in the 60s. Now, I've never seen that film. He played Clyde's older brother, Buck Barrow, of the Barrow Gang. And that's how he got his big break. Yes, actress Michelle Trachtenberg, I'm aware of her. She was also, she starred in Harriet the Spy and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah. I heard she had a liver transplant that failed. That's what the comment section said. I don't know how true it is, but that's what happened. But Gene Hackman is someone I remember mainly. Of course, I'm sad to hear of any death, of any passing. Especially now, he was 95 years old. Could there have been foul play with this? I don't know. Of course, we don't have any information, but from the facts we know, you're talking about a 95-year-old, so someone who is a senior citizen, his wife who is fairly younger, but she's in her 60s. Their dog is also deceased. Now, based off what the reports saying, the sheriffs didn't see any signs of any gunshot wounds or anything like that. What could have caused 2 or 3 people to die in a house together, plus their animal, that quick, and how long it was? Could it have been natural causes where one has a massive one? I don't know what the cause of death is, but let's just say natural causes or old age for Mr. Hackman, or whether it was a heart attack and she also could have died suddenly. Could 2 people have died at the same time? It happens, yes. It's rare. It's not something you see often. But then your dog is also deceased inside the home. Something isn't right with that. So I think there certainly warrants an investigation in this case, which there will be. I'm sure there will be an autopsy that will show what happened. Of course, if I'm seeing that her body was decomposing from what they said, they didn't say anything about Mr. Hackman, but of course, there could be an issue as far as there's body decomposition and how long you've been deceased and so forth. There may be an issue determining uh, what may have been in their system, how long they were dead. But I'm not the expert. Of course, a coroner, a doctor who's trained would be able to see that as well. Now, I'm just going to go back to a video. So, courtesy of NBC News, you saw this, but they did stories on on Gene Hackman's life. What's up to all my family on X? We got almost, on my account, I see almost 900 people watching. Over 96 people watching, I should say. I'm sorry. There's probably even more than that. Via Twitter, of course, X, via Rumble. We don't have the numbers on StreamYard through my streaming service to see this, but Facebook. But what do y'all think of Gene Hackman? His passing, of course, we mourn his, 95 years old. That's a blessing. And he was able to accomplish and do things that most of us, all of us, would probably not be able to do. He lived a life, a very extraordinary life, and was able to retire. He retired. Oh, remember this, Gene Hackman retired from the limelight of Hollywood. His last film was in 2004, so over 20 years ago. He didn't have to do anything else. And he probably didn't want to do anything else except writing. So, of course, we are, you mourn his passing. We're sorry for his loss. I'm sorry for his family. We don't ever like seeing anyone die, especially, of course, even though he was an elderly gentleman. And I specifically will remember the work that he did as an actor, the great work he did, how he went toe to toe with Denzel Washington. That was some of the best acting I've ever seen. I get a kick out, of course, the movie I love the most that I think he did was one of his best was Mississippi Burning. It was a movie that I enjoyed. And so, and I think everybody should check that film out when they get a chance. It's free on YouTube, so go ahead and check it out. Mississippi Burning. That was Gene Wilder, and they were funny enough. They were actually in the movie Young Frankenstein, one of my favorite comedy films. That was directed by Mel Brooks. I think he was one of the few. I think he was the last act. Was he the last actor from that movie that's alive? Gene Hackman was. Yeah, he played the blind man that kept breaking up and messing over Frankenstein. Yeah. So his daughters are calling for an investigation. She suspects his daughter is saying she suspects they died of carbon monoxide poisoning. But they're saying, of course, there's no leak. Now, this is courtesy of Fox. The death they're saying, of course, they have it in quotes, is suspicious. So this is what Fox had to say. Hold on.
We're following breaking news developments in the deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife, with investigators now calling those deaths suspicious. You're taking a look at some file video of the couple, and I wanted to share the very latest as Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman was found dead alongside his wife, who was a classical pianist, as well as their dog in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home Wednesday afternoon. Now, a search warrant affidavit obtained by Fox News Digital revealed that Hackman's wife was found decomposed. And I want to preface this by saying what I'm about to share is disturbing to possibly some of you. She was found decomposing with bloating on her face and mummification in her hands and feet. Hackman was also found to have the same signs of decomposition as his wife. Detectives believe that the circumstances surrounding the death of Hackman and his wife are suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. When two Santa Fe County Patrol deputies arrived at the scene, they walked to the front of the residence, and that is when they found the front door slightly open. They did not observe any signs of forced entry into the home. That is according to the warrant. After they entered the residence, they immediately observed a bathroom to the left of the front door. The door of the bathroom was opened, and that is where they discovered the body of Hackman's wife lying on the ground. An orange prescription bottle was also found near her body, and the bottle appeared open with pills scattered on the countertop. Police said that she showed obvious signs of death, body decomposition, bloating in her face, and mummification in both hands and feet. A deceased dog was also found near her body in a closet of the bathroom, but two healthy dogs were also found on the property, one running loose and the other seen near Hackman's wife's body. The warrant stated that there were, quote, no obvious signs of a gas leak, and that was an earlier conjecture that perhaps they passed away from carbon monoxide poisoning. Now, Santa Fe County Sheriff Mendoza confirmed with Fox News Digital separately that the gas company and fire department additionally responded to make sure there were no toxic fumes that would endanger the deputies during their search. And the New Mexico Gas Company is working with the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department in this investigation. During their initial investigation, the sheriff did not discover any visible trauma on Hackman or his wife, and said they could have been victims of a double homicide, suicide, accidental death, or natural causes. Hackman was 95 years old at the time of his death, his wife 63. The office confirmed that the cause of death has not been determined as of yet, and the investigation is still ongoing. Sheriff Mendoza telling Fox News Digital that an autopsy is scheduled for today. So the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office telling Fox News Digital, quote, on February 26 at approximately 1:45 p.m. local time, Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to an address on Old Sunset Trail in Hyde Park, where Gene Hackman, 95, and his wife, Betsy, 64, and a dog were found deceased. We did want to share that latest breaking news update, as now investigators deemed the deaths of both Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife as suspicious, saying that both bodies showed signs of mummification. Any new information, we, of course...
I mean, they were dead for a long time. Yeah. If they showed signs of mummification, that's more than 2 days. That had to have been a week or more, but yeah, they're even listed on the Wikipedia page for Gene Hackman, February 2025, because they can't put a date on it, what happened or whatever. But may they rest in peace, Gene Hackman. Yeah, and something else a lot of people don't know about Gene Hackman. He served in the Marine Corps as a young man. He was 16 years old when he enlisted because he had actually stolen, I think, some bubble gum or some other stuff, and to avoid arrest, he hurried up and and enlisted in the Marines, lying about his age. And he served 4 years in the Marine Corps as a field radio operator. So a man who served his country, served it well as a teenager. That's a picture of Gene Hackman as a young man, practically a teenager in Marine Corps. And, you know, one of his good friends who he started with was none other than another great actor, Dustin Hoffman. I think they shared a living room apartment together in New York, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's, hold on, I'm sorry, I said the wrong screen. So yeah, if you're on YouTube or X or anywhere, why don't you tell me in the comment section what was one of your favorite Gene Hackman films, if you had any. Yeah, he played Popeye Doyle in The French Connection in 1971 or 72, and that was he won an Oscar for that, for Best Actor. Then he won an Oscar for Unforgiven. He was also nominated for an Oscar in one of my favorite films, which I said earlier was Mississippi Burning, when he fought the deputy. Y'all, y'all remember that scene? When he beat up the deputy. I can't share it. They'll give me a copyright strike, but just the intensity. He's shaving the deputy that killed the civil rights workers. Let me stop it because they'll hit me with a strike. But yeah, that was some of the best acting. Shout out to that movie. Yeah, it was some of the best acting. Yeah, French Connection was intense. Yeah, death happens, and death is happening. It happens all the time. But a lot of the big names that are coming out there, yeah, Chris Jasper from Jasper Isley and Isley Jasper and Isley from the Isley brothers. He passed a couple of days ago. So did Roberta Flack. She passed away, I think, on Monday or Tuesday. She was 88 years old. Jerry Butler last week, actually, the Iceman. Jerry Butler, legendary singer-songwriter, Never Gonna Give You Up, and Hey Western Union Man, songs of those natures. Yeah, he died. So a lot of people have passed, but yeah. But yeah, may they rest in peace, huh? Now I gotta talk about this shooting that took place. This is this is out in Burke County, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, someone could correct me. Is that out in Florida? There's this black man that was shot by his white girlfriend. This is in North Carolina. Right. And this black man, whose name is Telvin Osborne, who was 30, was shot and killed allegedly by Hannah Cobb, who was 25, his white girlfriend. And what they have found essentially are some old tweets of him making some comments about black women. Y'all go ahead and drop something in the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. So I wanted to talk about this right quick because a lot of people have been commenting on it. So she's been charged with involuntary manslaughter. And a few days ago, the 911 calls were released. So if we can play this video about this 911 call, this is courtesy, fair use. This is courtesy of this 1226. So this is 911 call. Let's go ahead and play it.
We've got new details in a deadly shooting out of Burke County, and a suspect is now behind bars tonight.
Burke County deputies say this happened just before 6 o'clock Sunday morning at a home in Keysville. There, investigators found the body of 30-year-old Telvin Osborne, who was later pronounced dead from a gunshot wound to the chest.
And today, 25-year-old Hannah Cobb was arrested and charged with felony involuntary manslaughter. Authorities say she's the one who notified authorities about this shooting. Now, this afternoon, Burke County Sheriff Alfonso Williams held a news conference with details about this case.
A new mugshot released for 25-year-old Hannah Cobb, facing felony involuntary manslaughter charges in the shooting death of 30-year-old Telvin Osborne. This after the community and social media erupted this week after no immediate arrest was made in this case. According to a Burke County incident report, deputies responded to Western Estates on 4 Points Road Sunday morning for a gunshot wound. At the home, they found 30-year-old Telvin Osborne shot in the upper chest. Deputies say the suspect, Hannah Cobb, called deputies and was applying pressure to the wound when they arrived. Cobb told deputies her and Osborne had been out all night and recently got home. Cobb told deputies in the report she was checking her firearm as they do every night. That's when the gun went off, hitting Osborne. Cobb told deputies she thought the gun was on safe while checking it.
The case required a considerable amount of time and attention to detail, ensuring that there was a comprehensive inquiry, a thorough sifting of the evidence, and we have filed appropriate charges.
According to Sheriff Alfonso Williams, there's been misinformation spread about the case, including the suspect cleaning the weapon when it went off.
At no point during the investigation was there any information about a person cleaning a weapon.
He did say alcohol was involved in the shooting, and they're not listing this as accidental. He also said there was an altercation with some, quote, pushing and shoving before the incident happened.
It is reckless to go out and get drunk and then introduce a firearm into an argument.
I asked the sheriff if Cobb turned herself in or if deputies went to get her. The sheriff said they made arrangements with her to pick her up. Osborne's family tells us the 30-year-old worked out at Savannah Riverside, but often loved to fish, hunt, and raise animals. He was a father of two who they say loved his entire family.
This case is being treated as a homicide, and some family members felt the sheriff's office wasn't doing enough. Right now, the sheriff said more charges could be a possibility or charges could be upgraded. The sheriff said they have not responded to that home for other incidents in the past. We'll continue to follow this and bring you updates as we learn more.
This baseball season is unlike any other in the state of Georgia. Our parent company.
Okay, I just saw I had 100. There we go. Sorry, I got kicked out for a second. Now, I feel sorry for this man's kids because there are two children that are going to grow up without their father. So I don't think it's right to celebrate in any way, shape, or form someone's passing or death, no matter how much of an asshole he might have been. He was somebody's father. He was somebody's son. He did not deserve that. Do I cry tears for him necessarily? Not so much. I don't know the man. I know what things that he has been saying because Yahoo News, they put out how Telvin Osborne once said he would rather sleep with a dog than a black woman. And you know, we have to be careful about how we speak in life because all of us are going to meet death one day. And how many people show up at your funeral is going to be a testament. Normally, it is a testament of how your life was, if you were celebrated, if you were loved. And social media is not so forgiving, especially black media, especially new black media today, especially what we do as a society. We're not so forgiving with certain things that are said. And it's ironic that Mr. Osborne says these, and I'm assuming these are his, would say these things, and now he's unalived by a member of one of the very groups he was divesting over, and not a black woman. You know, they have people saying, black women, remember to drink water and mind your business when it comes to sympathy for Telvin Osborne being killed by his white girlfriend, Hannah Cobb. He hated you and left the proof. Good riddance to both of them. One person wrote. One person wrote who actually has a personal connection to Osborne says, this hurts because this man's family, but I still got to tell the truth. Old boy Telvin was on some coon shit with his praise of the white woman's. This is just like that Nigerian dude that got poked up by his white blessing. Then we found all the Akatas. Damn Telbo. Now, she's charged with involuntary manslaughter. So it's not, if it's involuntary manslaughter, what that means, and I'm trying to see where Burke County. Anybody knows where that is? Is this around the Carolinas? Is this in Georgia? This is in the Carolinas, huh? Or is this in Georgia? I know it's in is it in like northern Georgia? Because I'm seeing this is in North Carolina. So I feel sorry for the man's family. Yeah, I don't ever celebrate someone's death. That's just not cool to me. That's just not cool. I don't jump for joy over that. He had family, and he was somebody's son. He was somebody's brother. He was somebody's dad. But it's not something I necessarily will cry tears over with this situation. But I'm hoping that they will thoroughly investigate it. I think they will investigate it further. We'll see what will happen. Whether she's going to face more charges, intense charges, why it's not murder, that's a question on the sheriff. Maybe from what he saw, it could be upgraded by the prosecutor's office. Of course, the sheriffs, they will make the arrest. But then if the prosecutor looks at the evidence that the sheriff has prepared, they may get a chance to edit these and make a decision on it. But what say you, fam? What do you think of this? What are your thoughts? Give me a like, share, and subscribe. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We're going to wrap up in a little bit because I have some work to do. But I wanted to touch on those two topics. Also, did y'all see Tiffany Henyard? She lost the election. By a landslide. They said, get out of here, wig. Get out of here, wig. Jason House beat Tiffany Henyard in a landslide in the primary. This is the primary. So that means she's not even qualified for the election, for the later election. Did y'all see it is here?
Tiffany Henyard. It won't be long before Tiffany Henyard's name is no longer emblazoned on nearly everything in Dalton.
We faced 4 years of intimidation, 4 years of failure, and tonight is the new day for the community of Dalton.
Trustee Jason House easily defeated Henyard in last night's Democratic primary. A primary, Henyard was pretty confident she would win in a landslide.
My residents do love me despite fake news not showing the good that I do in the community, because I do a ton of good. But y'all just painted me as bad news for 4 years.
Her 4 years has been marred in controversy stemming from a WGN investigation that found taxpayer dollars being spent on luxurious travel, self-promotion, and a questionable cancer charity, all of which is now part of an ongoing FBI investigation. She had promised transparency when she and a slate of trustees were elected 4 years ago.
Anything in hindsight that you would have done differently over these last 4 years?
Yeah, I would have told on the trustees sooner.
What trustees and the public got was a self-proclaimed super mayor and very little or no transparency on the village's finances.
We had to go to the Illinois Attorney General's office to get you to turn over documents.
Henyard was a no-show at her election night party, but did tell WGN on the phone she accepts last night's results. House will face independent candidate Cassandra Hobson Jordan in the April 1st general election. As for Henyard's second job as Thornton Township's supervisor, the Democrats refused to put her on the ballot. However, she says she is still going to run just as a write-in candidate. In Dalton, I'm Eric Rung, WGN News.
Or maybe it's not over for Wig. She is the gift that keeps on giving. She's the gift that keeps on giving for YouTube and content creators. Why is it taking so long for the FBI to build a case on her? You would have to ask them. I have no idea. Maybe they have stuff on her. Maybe they are investigating her and waiting till she gets out of office to do so. I've heard stories about our mayor here in New Orleans, Titi, that she's being investigated by the feds. Same thing with I've heard when was Kwame Kilpatrick arrested out in Michigan, out in Detroit. Yeah, he had to resign. The governor he had to resign as mayor of Detroit in 2002. He was in 2002 he was in the Michigan House, and then in 2008, he had to resign, I think, out of his second term. And interesting enough, Kwame endorsed Trump for president. He probably got tired of dealing with the Democrats and how they treated him. Hi, Catalia. The phone logs, it could be, it could be any type of, if there's any incriminating evidence to show there was some type of break in a relationship, they may try and introduce, who knows. But y'all give me a thumbs up. What's going on, Catalia? We're going to wrap this thing up. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you are subscribed to the Rumble channel on Rumble. We have our channel on Rumble there. It's called Random Topics. So make sure you subscribe there. If you loved what you heard, if you enjoy my time, pay me for my time. Drop something in the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. As you know, our channel is not monetized, so you can drop something to support me here on ScrewTube. Shout out to my family on X. Shout out to you all. And I will see you all in the next one. We're going to wrap this thing up because I got to run and do some stuff. But yeah, once again, if you love me for my time, pay me for my time. There's a lot going on. Oh, I forgot, before I wrap it up, our Black History moment for the day. I'm putting it on YouTube. I have it on X already. We're down to the last 48 hours or less, I should say, of February, which is Black History Month. It's my birthday month. And one person I want to highlight is an attorney. This is Attorneys Week, is Brother Willie Gary. Willie Gary is actually one of the most prominent attorneys, Willie, and that's his middle name, E. Gary. One of the most prominent attorneys in this country. He has been known as nickname is the Giant Killer because he has actually gotten multiple billion-dollar awards against different companies, firms. Of course, one story that was highlighted in the movie The Burial in 2023 that was on Amazon. Jamie Foxx played Willie Gary. He secured a $500 million verdict for a funeral home operator, Jeremiah Joseph O'Keefe, against Raymond Loewen, who owned the Loewen, after Loewen reneged on a contractual agreement with O'Keefe. Gary won the case with a jury awarding O'Keefe $500 million in damages, although the case was settled afterwards for $175 million. Gary's victory would eventually lead to Loewen resign from his firm, which would be reorganized after a bankruptcy filing, and it was sold to a competitor, Service Corporation International. So here's a picture of Willie Gary. He is married to Gloria Gary, and they have 6 children. Yeah, I think they have 4 kids, and I think he has other. No, he has 6. I'm sorry. He has 6 children. Here's a picture of brother Willie Gary here with Jamie Foxx. Yeah. So shout out to Willie Gary, our Black History moment. All right, y'all, that's it for me. It's been another exciting edition of Random Topic Thursdays. I will see you all in the next one. Be the one, be safe, and be blessed. I'll holla. Peace. Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel GBoot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.